Good morning, my name is Lydia Yousief. I'm representing Arts Equity Nashville here today with Christine Hall, our very strong leader at Arts Equity Nashville, and I want to thank all the artists for their bravery and for coming forward with their experiences and their stories. That's not easy to come up and speak to the government about issues that we're having, so I really want to commend their bravery. Because that is the first step to acknowledging the harm and bringing about change, is when people are not self-censoring and imagining that being quiet and being compliant will get us anywhere in this society. So I really commend your bravery today. I want to bring forth the solutions to a democratic process. Freddie O'Connell, our current mayor, is the one who picked this interim director to lead this office in January of 2025. Under the guise that it will bring about equity and community engagement and prosperity to the office, but instead, in the past 2 years, we have found the opposite, as you have heard from the artists. We have seen the abolishment of CARE, the Committee on Anti-Racism and Equity, from Metro Arts, which has been obviously disastrous to the grants criteria that has come out. We've seen the defunding of artists in fiscal year 2026, 73 artists who qualified for community projects who were denied because they wanted to move that money up to the top. We have seen through our FOIA requests that there is also internal disorder. There have been two formal HR complaints and one informal complaint against Ashley Batchelder as the interim director. All three are from people of color in the office. All three allege racism. One in particular is on discriminatory hiring practices, in which Batchelder in the complaint does not hire a person of color and circumnavigates Metro's process of hiring. This is really disconcerting for the community, that we're seeing this on the ground in the community and then also within this department in Metro, where there isn't equitable and anti-discriminatory hiring practices at a time when artists are speaking out. So we want to uplift that for the staff and for the community as well. Our demands are very simple. Actually, it's always interesting how simple the requests are coming in from the community, and it's, the bare minimum that we are asking for is that Ashley Batchelder was meant to be an interim director placed there by the current mayor. She has not been able to steer that department for the past 2 years. She has not listened to the community. She has wreaked havoc with the staff. It is time for us to open up the executive director search for Metro Arts and to start that 3-month process with the commission. That is a very important next step that needs to happen as soon as possible. The other solution that we are bringing through is that the defunder, who is in the midst of her 3rd term, Campbell West, who is leading the commission, is also ill-equipped to lead that commission. She also needs to be removed. She is the last defunder on that commission. So she is the last of the commissioners who voted to reverse and to defund artists back in 2023, and she has continued that march of madness since then. She is ill-equipped, and she uses the term institutional memory. I don't fully understand why someone who has the memory of segregation and defunding artists would be allowed to lead, and I think the community has spoken up very broadly about that. The last thing is that Arts Equity Nashville, which is completely volunteer-run, has created a proposal for a grants criteria, and we have submitted it to the council as an alternative to what Batchelder and whatever formulation she's coming up with her grants criteria, Metro Legal and Metro Finance, not the community. We have presented that as a proposal and as an alternative, and so we ask with the community that be accepted and that we bring forth a new age. A new age. That's going to be a fun little ASMR right there. Bring a new age for the artists here, where we can fully fund the arts and the artists and see community wherever the arts in all of our spaces. In this past cycle, I'm Egyptian, 0 Egyptian artists were funded in fiscal year 2026 through this department, even though Egypt, after Mexico, has the second most foreign-born residents in Davidson County. So we are missing out indigenous voices, we are missing out a lot of our Black community, Latino community members, and our Arab community members, and Kurdish community members who are not being given their fair share in their taxes. So on behalf of all our community members, working class, and people of color in this city who deserve arts, who deserve to see it on every corner, who want to carry those traditions and that heritage, we advocate for this proposal, and we advocate for a new transition, systemic transition in this department. Thank you.